Hello and welcome to the September edition of Marshall Chamber Community Connect. This month's guest is Tom Bolin. Tom is the Executive Director at the Marshall area YMCA, and thanks for being here today.
Yeah, so glad to be here.
Absolutely. Let's talk about some of the things we had in August, and what a great way to cap off the summer with all the activities that we had. Kicked off with Prayer Home Hospice. They had their ball. This is normally in the spring. It was on August 6th this year at the Red Baron Arena, and Tara told me that they had over 250 attendees, really strong support, lots of good auction items. So thanks to everybody that came to the hospice ball in August. Expect that it will be next April again, back indoors at the Red Baron Arena. The following week, of course, the Lyon County Fair was back back here in town. Good to see the amount of traffic coming in and out. I was told that one day the traffic in the parking went all the way back to the Armory. So you could tell, Tom, that people were ready to come back to the fair this year.
We were there that night. There was a lot of people there. We took a little rodeo, some great fair food, so it was a good time.
Yeah, good. And thanks to, again, everyone that came out to the fair this year. Of course, the following week was the Sounds of Summer. Sounds of Summer, has been on hiatus now for since 2019 as well. Good to see everybody coming back for that. I went out on Saturday night to the concerts. Real fun time. I think next year I saw that there's actually going to be a concert on Thursday next summer. So good to see everybody out at Sounds of Summer, and all the vendors, all the food, the parade, the cars that they had. Again, Sounds of Summer, again, back in 2022. And Tom, I know you're very involved with the farmers market. Farmers market has been going on since the beginning of July. You're starting to see a transition now from summer produce to the fall produce.
We sure are, and the farmers market's a great thing. The Y is the fiscal host for that, and you see a lot of squash, a lot of pumpkins now, and it's still going strong all the way through the end of October.
Yep. Of course, this upcoming Saturday is if you enjoy music, this upcoming Saturday is the last Saturday for the individuals that are singing out there. And then lastly, of course, the Tigers and the Mustangs have kicked off. It's good to see the fall sports back in play, and the amount of people in the stands cheering on our favorite teams here in town. So again, Tom is our executive director. He's been there at the Y for how long?
A little over 9 years now.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. So I'm still involved with the Y. Some of the listeners or watchers probably know that I sit on the board there, and I'm very proud to be there as a volunteer. But Tom, I know a lot of things about the Y. In fact, I used to work for the Y in the Twin Cities for 11 years. What do you wish everybody knew about the Y?
Probably the biggest misconception about the Y is that gym and swim concept, that we're there as a fitness club and a swimming pool, and that's really all that goes on at the Y. But reality is Y's been around 175 years. Let's look at this long history, and it's so much more than that workout facility and that gym. We do all kinds of social service activities, from blood drives to voting site, to kindness retreats, and we do all. What goes on every day. The magic ink of the Y is social, the interaction. People come maybe for fitness, but they're really coming to see their friends and have those social interactions. So, and we're a charitable nonprofit. That's probably the other thing. People think we're part of the city or part of the county, but we're really a charitable nonprofit, and we have to raise a lot of money each year to survive.
I hear you. The chamber gets confused for the city entity as well, and of course we're a nonprofit as well. Different kind of a nonprofit than the Y, but I hear what you're saying. So I know this answer because I go to your meetings on a monthly basis, but how did the pandemic impact the Y?
It was an interesting year. We started out 2020 really strong, historically high numbers in January, February. That pandemic came around mid-March, and we were closed for 112 days. So almost just a little bit under a third of the year that we were mandated closed. And that really took a toll. We had 50% of our members stayed with us, which was incredible. That really saved us in a lot of ways. But we had about 50% leave for different reasons while we were closed. And, we had to furlough all our staff. Large loss of income with those membership going, things like that. And really the second membership closure in November probably hurt us even worse. And it's been a little bit of uphill climb, but it's been pretty positive since we reopened in late December last year.
Right. So last summer, the Y facilitated a number of not just last summer, but during the pandemic in general, especially during the school year, what I was meaning to say, the Y facilitated a number of programs. Actually, some of them were actually mandated by the state. Can you share some of these?
Yeah, we got that call from the state saying we had to be closed on March 17th, and I call it the great pivot. We went from normal operations to here's what goes on every given day to what are we going to do now? And so we kept the 7 or 8 full-time staff, and everybody else was furloughed because we weren't even open. But we started out really with a community needs assessment. We met with some groups, we talked to a lot of people, we surveyed our members and said, what do you need looking forward? So we did 600 some wellness calls. So we called all our seniors that are members of the Y just to see if anything that they needed, any way that we could help them. We held a number of blood drives. We served as critical care for a lot of parents, so we ran some school out of the Y during that early time, and then we ran camp all summer with them. We gave out a lot of our equipment, not big treadmills, of course, but the smaller equipment we borrowed out to members so they could use. And then we really went virtual, so we never really closed to our members. We were doing all kinds of virtual classes through Facebook and through different through avenues. Now we actually have a thing called Motion Vibe, a new app called Motion Vibe, so we can stream our classes, do everything virtually. And probably what I'm most proud of was when school started up in the fall, we worked with Marshall Public Schools, and they had that hybrid system where 20% of the kids weren't in school any given day. And so we provided critical care to them during the day. So we basically ran a school up to 78 kids we had on certain days with a lot of support from Marshall Public Schools. But that was great. And it was a great thing for the Y to have all those kids there and a little bit of source of revenue for us during that time.
So Y program staff became Y school supervisors of sorts.
We you know, and we worked with the school. We borrowed desks. We basically set up rooms, different rooms with plexiglass and all those, and we had pairs come over, and we turned the Y into a school.
That's fabulous. And I know there was some other businesses in the area that helped out with Wi-Fi to ensure the number of computers on site, which was a lot, had successful Wi-Fi.
We did. There was so much going on, and it was just so different than anything we did in the past. So everything was new. We had to create it. We had to understand those rules. And then, of course, the rules changed. It seemed like every 4 or 5 days. So it was an exciting year.
Yep. So all state mandates were lifted June 1st. What are things at the Y looking like as we enter this fall?
It's starting to get back to normal. January, February, March, as we were waiting for that vaccine to come, it was still really different. And it's just slow growth, but we don't expect a lot of growth over the summer. Programs that we have done, swim lessons, day camp programs, exceptionally full, maybe the best attendance we've ever had through the years. And now that we're moving into fall, even the last 2 weeks, I've really noticed the uptick of people coming, looking for memberships, signing up for fall programs. It's been a real positive in that way. And so, it's really critical to the Y. And, when it gets down to it, we're based on membership is where those dollars come, and we really need to grow our membership this fall. A few of the other things I get asked a lot is you have to wear a mask to come to the Y, and no, you don't. We're not under any mandates right now. Of course, it's optional. People want to wear their masks. That's awesome. And if they don't, they don't. We disinfect constantly with our staff. We have routines for that, but we also have disinfectant and individual bottles and rags out for people that might want more. We have equipment that's really social distance from other equipment, so we really feel people could come in, and if you want to be close to people and spot, that's great. If you don't, you kind of want to be away from people, but you still want to work out, you can do all those things. So we figured out ways around pretty much everything with the pandemic and to keep it as safe as possible and still do all these types of programs and services that we offer.
So next week is kind of an exciting week at the Y. We've got all sorts of free community events. It culminates on Saturday the 18th. Let's talk about some of these events.
Yeah, on Monday the 13th really kicks things off. Just an open house all day, open to the public, free, so anybody in the community can come over. We'd love to have you. Any adult would need to have an ID to get in. We always check IDs, make sure we know who is in the building. And if you want to swim, things like that. We do have a reservation system now. With the pandemic, we just want to make sure people have their distance. We want to make sure people driving 15, 20 miles to the Y can come in, that their spot is saved. So if you want to come and swim on that day, you want to make a reservation with us, you can do that just by calling the front desk at the Y. And then Wednesday, we turn into Treats with Tom at 9 a.m. So that'll be a fun event, just some sweets out there. Anybody really invited to attend, ask questions. I'll kind of update on the state of the Y and then just take any questions people might have. That night, I think for the first time ever, we're doing wine tasting and chair massages at 7 p.m. In our back room at the Y, and that's an RSVP type event. So we need to know how many people are coming. And again, you can call the Y, you can jump on our website. It's just like signing up for a swim lesson class. We have the same system to RSVP for that night. So I know we've got quite a few signed up already and excited to see who we have that evening. And then we kind of culminate on Saturday, the 18th, is a welcoming week. So around the nation, the Ys really work on welcoming mostly newcomers to our community, to the Y, and just all the great things that are going on. And we get a lot of people to show up. And this year we partnered with the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Commission from the city of Marshall. So that morning, starting at 11:30, kind of at the end of the market, we're going to start with a big chalk art project. We're going to have a food, what do you call them, food trucks out there for those kinds of meals. And then it's going to morph into a carnival. So we'll have inflatable games, duck tanks, we'll maybe get you out there to get dunked a few times or not. And just all the way from 11 to 4 o'clock, going to be all kinds of activities that welcome people, but also welcome anybody in the community. And we're really trying to show more about what the Y is about, and hope people might join the Y in the future.
Good, yeah. Of course, the fall, of course, SMSU coming back. Hopefully we see some more employees coming back here to some of the businesses that have been working at home to help with that membership drive this upcoming fall. So large renovation project is hopefully in the works here at the Y. We've been doing some behind the scenes work over the last 4 or 5 months. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, we might have talked about that last time I was on. It was probably a couple of years ago, and it's been a long process with the pandemic. But way back in 2017, the board really took a proactive look at the Y and said, what do we need as a facility and as an organization, for the future of the Y, looking out the next generation of citizens. And we did a bunch of surveys, community forums. We put a plan together. We hired a company that really specializes in Ys, and they've developed a whole number of initiatives that we looked at. And so we're really right now in the quiet phase of a really big initiative. We're going to have to raise a lot of money. We're not really ready to announce exactly what we're doing yet to the general public, but we're meeting with those potential large donors and working on that quiet phase. And hopefully in the coming months we'll have a big public announcement on that. But the whole project is based on better utilizing the space we have. So we're not really building onto the Y at all, but changing up the look and the feel of some of the internal parts of the Y, like for instance, decommissioning a racquetball court, making that 2 stories, and just gaining more space and more program space for the activities we want to do for the future.
Yeah, and these are based on a lot of these community needs that we keep hearing about. Not only the Y surveys, but the surveys that have gone out in general, not just from the Y.
Yeah, the one that maybe surprised me the most was around nutrition and diet. That came up number 1 on all the surveys we did. And so we're going to take our existing kitchen, which is kind of a storeroom for a lot of things around kids, and we're going to turn it into a real teaching kitchen. So all stainless steel and seating, and we can do theater-style seating. So we'll do all kinds of curriculum around nutrition and recipes and cooking and reading labels, and work with all different ages.
Sure. Great. Thanks, Tom. Thanks for being here. If you have any questions, it's the easiest phone number in Marshall, 532-YMCA. So give Tom a call, or if any of his staff, they'll be happy to visit with you. So let's talk about what's going on in September. Of course, this upcoming weekend is a very popular weekend in September every single year. It's always the weekend after Labor Day. It's Hopfest. Hopfest is happening Friday night and Saturday. Be sure to check their listing of things to do on their Facebook page. We had talked about a dunk tank. I don't know if they're doing it this year. I had to do it, and I shouldn't say I had to do it, but I was invited to do it probably about 3 or 4 years ago. Their dunk tank is beer. We'll see if that is there. Tom, is this something that you like to go to on Hopfest?
Yeah, I've sure been out there in the past, and I enjoy the music. It's just a fun night to be out.
Yeah, and it's family friendly. On Saturday, and there's beanbag toss and all sorts of things, other things to do. Besides this, so I wanted to kind of touch on another thing that's happened this weekend. 28 teams, volleyball teams, are coming into town this weekend. If you see some teams that are different kind of shirts, be sure to give them a welcoming smile and welcome them to Marshall this upcoming weekend. Also, this upcoming weekend on Saturday is the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks. So please join the City of Marshall and other community members at Memorial Park, 10 o'clock for an event that will honor our fallen heroes from 9/11. Again, 10 o'clock this upcoming Saturday morning, Memorial Park. Pursuit of Excellence is scheduled for Saturday, September 18th in the evening. This is going to be at the second field, the soccer field at SMSU. Coincidentally, it's also Egg Bowl for SMSU, so it's going to be on the second field along Highway 23. The Pursuit. Tom, you've been in the Pursuit a few times.
Yeah, I had a daughter in marching band. We actually have the Anoka Ramsey Band is going to spend that night at the YMCA. They called and they're going to do a lock-in, do a little late night swimming games, and it's a great deal.
Good for them. I don't know, I could sleep on hard floors. As I said, Egg Bowl is held the same day. Real fun time. It's going to be a football game that evening, and everything agriculture-wise is on during the day on Saturday. Of course, Relco has got as a big sponsor and the main sponsor for that day. So appreciate all of our friends from Relco. Looking ahead a little bit in October. October 1st is Marshall High School homecoming, and so it's activities all throughout the week that week for high school. You see all sorts of kids dressed up in fun, different costumes or Jersey Day, or I don't even know what the days are, but of course it culminates with the high school homecoming. That's a Friday night, which is actually different from, it's usually the same weekend as SMSU homecoming, which is the following weekend. And then lastly, I want to touch on as a teaser for the watchers out there is our Taste of Marshall. Our Taste of Marshall is coming back. The Chamber Taste of Marshall event is coming back on Monday, October 18th. Mark your calendars from 5 to 8. It's going to be at the Red Baron Arena. We have had the good problem, Tom, of outgrowing our space on the second level here at the conference center. So we're going to move over to the Red Baron Arena.
Yeah, that's a can't miss event.
Yeah.
I never miss that one.
And you know what? We already have 15 places that have given me the go-ahead. And normally at this time, Tom, we have about 9 to 10. So we're at 15, including a couple new ones. We have the Holmberg Orchard that's coming to town. Who knows what the Holmberg Orchard is going to come? Maybe some pies. So again, Monday, and it culminates with our, according to our bylaws, we need to have an annual meeting every single year. So we have a little bit of a business meeting. We give out community awards, and then we give, and then of course we have a fun evening. 2 years ago, we had over 400 people. So it sure be great to see all of you out on October 18th. All these events and updates can be found on our website. Also on our website is a huge job list. The last time I looked at that job list, we had 68 job openings on our website. Please look at that. Businesses, as you drive all the way up throughout town, are looking for help. So if you're looking for a part-time job, if you're still looking for work, look at our website because there's a lot of them out there. Our website is marshallmn.org. Our visit website is visitmarshallmn.com. So thanks, Tom, again for being our guest this month.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Next month, I kind of touched on SMSU homecoming. We're having Bill Mussel right here from on campus is going to be our guest. He's going to talk about SMSU homecoming activities and everything involved that are with SMSU. So thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next month.